As Trump and North Korea hurl threats, Hawaii prepares for a nuclear attack. Honolulu? Months before President Donald Trump threatened North Korea with fire and fury, before North Korea claimed to be planning a mid-August attack on Guam, and well before Trump tweeted that the United States military was locked and loaded to strike, officials in Hawaii began organizing guidelines for civilians in case of a nuclear attack on the islands. The Hawaii Emergency Management Agency has been preparing for possible threats from North Korea since January while trying to avoid causing undue anxiety among residents. But as the state began rolling out its response plan, North Korea successfully test-launched 2 intercontinental ballistic missiles in July with ranges within reach of Hawaii. Then a very public exchange of threats and one-upmanship began between Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Of all the worst things that can happen is to stoop to the level of North Korea with threats of destruction and nuclear weapons. Carl Baker, Director of Programs at the Honolulu Pacific Forum Center for Strategic and International Studies, told HuffPost, though most experts are certain that the risk of a North Korean attack on Hawaii, let alone anywhere in the United States, is still very low. Baker said the president's rhetoric isn't doing anybody any good. Most people are dismissive of North Korea's threats and understand that this isn't a problem, said Baker, a retired Air Force officer who served as an intelligence analyst for U.S. Forces Korea. But when you ratchet up the rhetoric like that and you get the bombast from both sides, it just makes everyone more uncertain. Hawaii is one of the first states to begin preparing for a nuclear strike from North Korea, Gov. David Ige requested the attack response plan from the state's Department of Defense in December, after military officials briefed him on North Korea's potential threats to Hawaii. It's only a matter of time that North Korea will be able to strike Hawaii with any kind of accuracy. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Anthony, a spokesman for the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, told HuffPost, "We want to get ahead of the threat," Anthony added. "To us, it made much more sense to try to get a public information campaign out there before North Korea had a series of successful ICBM tests. If a missile were to be launched at the islands, officials say, the state would have approximately 20 minutes to respond. The U.S. Pacific Command in Hawaii would identify the launch within 5 minutes, giving the island's 1.4 million residents a mere 15 minutes to take shelter. This scenario is what the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency is preparing residents for with a public information campaign, a revised set of nuclear response guidelines, and the restoration of statewide attack warning sirens that had been turned off after the thawing of the Cold War in the late 1980s. Ideally, all this would have rolled out without stirring up fears. A just-in-case plan. Then things between North Korea and the United States escalated in a very public way. When we started this process, North Korea was 0 for 5 in terms of ICBM missile tests, Anthony told HuffPost, referring to the 5 failed ICBM tests. About a week after we rolled out the public information campaign on the state's nuclear response guidelines, North Korea had successfully tested the second ICBM. Anthony said that Trump's increasingly intense exchanges of threats with North Korea aren't disturbing the state's plans to prepare residents and visitors for an attack. "We're not concerning ourselves with any rhetoric coming out of North Korea or Washington," Anthony said. "We've got our plans, and we're working on our plans on a particular timetable." North Korea has made major advancements in the country's weapon program, which now includes ICBMs and miniaturized warheads that are potentially within range of Hawaii, as well as the mainland's west coast and Denver. But most experts believe that there is no real threat to United States soil, especially since it remains unclear if Pyongyang has developed the accuracy to deliver a long-range missile to its intended target. An attack on Hawaii also wouldn't be a smart move for North Korea, and they know that, according to Denny Roy, a senior fellow at the East-West Center in Honolulu who focuses on North Korea. An actual strike against Hawaii doesn't make sense because it wouldn't help North Korea win a war, Roy told HuffPost. It would result in immediate and massive United States retaliation, probably the complete destruction of Pyongyang, and would see not only the defeat of North Korea but its erasure as a political entity. And leaders in North Korea aren't suicidal, Roy added. However, it appears that ADM Harry Harris Jr., commander of the United States Pacific Command, would disagree. Harris, who could not be reached for an interview, told Congress in April that Kim is clearly in a position to threaten Hawaii today, and requested that the government consider installing interceptors on Hawaii, which the state does not yet have, and a defensive radar, Asked about the state's readiness in the event of an attack, a Pacific Command official told HuffPost in a statement, "We always maintain a high state of readiness and have the capabilities to counter any threat, to include those from North Korea." The Missile Defense Agency currently has 37 interceptor missiles in Alaska and California that the agency claims would protect Hawaii from a North Korean ICBM. As Trump's threats to North Korea appear to be intensifying with every new statement, officials in Hawaii are calling for a de-escalation. The president tweeted Friday that U.S. military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded, should North Korea act unwisely. Later telling reporters that if Kim utters one threat, he'll regret it. In a statement sent to HuffPost, Sen. Macy Hirono, Hawaii, called for steady American leadership in order to de-escalate the tensions between the United States and North Korea. Bluster and severe yelling will only exacerbate an already difficult situation, Hirono said. Sen. Brian Schatz, Hawaii, criticized Trump's exchanges with North Korea in a series of tweets this week, calling the president's statements unwise in tone, substance, and urging Americans to listen to the Pacific Command and U.S. Forces Korea commanders instead. Responding to reports that Trump improvised his North Korea remarks, Schatz said, "Am I supposed to be reassured?"